928 people. By the end of 2016, there were 549,928 homeless people living in the United States. Of this amount of people, 21.5% resided in the state of California. These statistics were found from the article Estimated Number of Homeless People in the United States in 2016, published by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Clearly, homelessness is an issue, and as Joey mentioned in his speech, it's an issue in the United States also, not just in other countries. We all go to school in California, and we all reside here and live here right now, with about 72% of this class also living in California outside of school alone. So addressing the issue of homelessness and poverty is extremely important in figuring out how to help the situation. With the help of volunteers, homelessness and hunger can be reduced in the community. Volunteering helps the community members as well as provides personal benefits to the individuals volunteering as well. The range of volunteer work is extremely broad, which allows people to decide what types of volunteer work they want to do. Since homelessness, poverty, and hunger are main issues addressed in our community, a lot of volunteer work does center around finding those opportunities to feed the homeless. When I was a junior in high school from Washington, I went on a mission trip to Los Angeles. I was there for about 1 week with 20 other students from my high school, and we volunteered at the Dream Center, which is an organization that offers transitional housing for individuals who are living on the streets in Los Angeles. They offer an outreach program to the area of Skid Row, which is a 54-block area in the middle of downtown Los Angeles, where about 3,000 individuals live and are homeless there. The crime and drug rates are extremely high in this area. It's an extremely dangerous place to live, let alone if you're homeless. This was stated by Dennis Culhane in his essay, Tackling Homelessness in Los Angeles, Skid Row from 2010, that people who are homeless are more likely to be victim of crimes, especially violent crimes, because of their living situations and the activities that are happening around them. A lot of people do want to get out of this homeless situation, but they do not have the money to be able to do this. The Dream Center, as I mentioned before, is an extremely big organization that helps people get out of this situation. Volunteering is really important because it gets people up and on their feet and can push and be the push that they need to get past poverty. This is an image of Skid Row where, like I said, around 3,000 people reside. When I was in Los Angeles, I had the opportunity to walk through Skid Row and offer food and support and explain to people the opportunities that are available to them to help them get out of poverty and find a home and find food. The next day, when I was back at the Dream Center with the rest of my team volunteering, we saw 4 individuals walk up to the Dream Center that day. These 4 individuals had been people that we spoke to the night before, and one of those people had been someone that I personally spoke to. It was at that moment that I saw the impact that just one night and one encounter with one individual can truly make a difference in that person's life. Now, this 4 people does not seem like a high number, but if this was occurring every single day in every single town, the amount of people that would be taken off the streets and given opportunities to better their lives would be an insane amount. Now, 4 individuals were not the only people that benefit that day. The individuals, like myself, that benefit are also volunteers. Upon returning home, I gained friendships and a bond with the individuals that I was volunteering with just because of the volunteer work that we were doing. It brought us closer together, and we shared that special thing that no one else can share with us. We became more involved in the community when we got back because we saw the impact that it made on everyone's lives. It gave us a sense of fulfillment and purpose and joy to be able to help those people who are suffering so much and living on the streets in inhumane conditions. Clearly, it also benefited us as well. James Hamlin mentioned in his article, The Physiological Power of Altruism, published by The Atlantic in 2015, that people who volunteer can lead longer and healthier lives, in part by improving levels of depression from giving back to the community. By volunteering, you can also expand your job skills and networking for future jobs that come. In the article, Volunteering 101, What's in It for You, published by the Information Outlook in 2014, explains that individuals can gain experience volunteering that can help them get jobs in the future due to skills that they learned while they're volunteering. Not only can you gain new experiences and skills, the companies that you volunteer for are usually great resources to building a resume, and they usually have connections with other organizations that could hire people for paid positions. This information was mentioned in Volunteering Rises in the Resume from New York Times in 2011. Now, volunteering in large groups can make a huge impact. Like volunteering at the Dream Center, we've made a huge impact in that in the area of Los Angeles. Without volunteers, these organizations like the Dream Center cannot function. There'd be more people on the streets, like the image I showed you here, and this would expand to greater areas other than just Los Angeles. Without the people going to the outreach programs and going on Skid Row, people would not know the opportunities that are available to them. They'd be stuck in the cycle of poverty and homelessness, and it'd be extremely hard for them to get out, and there'd be even more people than there are today stuck in that situation without volunteers. Elena Samuels mentions this cycle in her 2014 post of a different approach to breaking the cycle of poverty by stating that kids that are born in poverty are likely to stay in poverty because there's less access to high-quality education, leading to less access to high-paying jobs, leading to less access to money being made, and the cycle just continues. With people who volunteer, the streets can be cleared off and people can stop living in tents and shopping carts. But volunteering does not require this big of a commitment like the one that I took. You can volunteer easily in your community, and clearly we need volunteers in the SLO community. The food bank that we have here, this is the warehouse of the food bank that we have, fed over 46,000 hungry people in the SLO community last year. And I bet a lot of you didn't even realize that there were that many people suffering from hunger in this community. There are homeless shelters, there are day and night shelters that people can go to, and just offer any type of support that they can. Volunteers can even do the simplest things and still make a difference in other people's lives. Just talking to the guests at the shelters, treating them with respect, listening, and showing that you care can boost their mood and confidence and can be the push and the motivation that they need to be able to get on their feet, look for a job, and get out of this cycle of poverty that they are in. So volunteering can make a difference. The simple idea of being present that I just mentioned was done by Josh Barbanel in the New York Times article, Homeless Finding Humanity at Different Private Shelters. Even if you don't see the progress that is being made with volunteering, every single minute counts. It can be fun for you because you can bring your friends, and the work can be satisfying because you can see the results at some points. But taking people off the streets, putting food in their mouths, and setting them on the path to success is an extreme accomplishment that not many people can say that they have done. By simply finding a good place to volunteer, you can make a difference. On a sheet of paper I'm going to pass out to all of you in a moment, there are 5 places and resources listed in the SLO community that you can contact or go to find volunteer opportunities. So read this sheet that I pass out to you, keep the paper, and contact the organization that stands out to you most. Join the 67.9 million people in this world who volunteered at least once in 2016, as stated by Scarborough from Statistic Portal in 2017, and make that number go up with you participating this year as well. One day out of the year can help. You never know the impact you're going to make in another person's life, just like I did not realize the impact I would make on that one individual that I spoke to that one night of Skid Row.